right. We're joined here by defender Kamal Miller. Kamal, thanks for joining us. We're going to open it up to questions. Whoever wants to start.
Kamal, obviously not the way the season wanted to end. Ned and Phil were both kind of saying how the squad kind of hit a wall. Did you feel that in the last month of the season, and in total, how would you assess your first year in Portland?
I don't want to say quite hit a wall because we were still creating a lot of chances and playing some good soccer in the last couple games, but it's evident during the year that goal scoring was our main commodity and what got us a lot of results as a team this year. And in the last couple games when we didn't score, I guess that's kind of natural just to say we hit a wall. Statistically, it's a fact. But overall, we still put out a lot of good soccer there. And yeah, for me personally, my first year as a Timber, it was a lot of ups and downs throughout the year. Not a lot of consistency in my position, and overall underwhelmed, and feel like I underachieved as a defender this year, not really solidifying the back line as much as I thought I would. But that's normal in football. Take the highs and the lows and go from there.
Hey, Kamal.
Hey.
Could you, how did Evander's tweets go over among the team the other night?
I don't have a chance to speak to the guys about it. Everything is so fresh. Obviously, Evander, incredible talent, and plays with so much pride and passion. And the game is so filled with emotions. So it was probably impulsive. I'm sure he'd probably want to take it back as he loves Portland so much and loves the club so much. I don't think he really wanted to offend anyone. It's just been a long year, and how well we were playing, I think as a group we were just all really frustrated and feel like we came up short. So things could have been said that we don't really mean and doesn't really reflect how the year went. So it is what it is. Just got to move on now.
Kamal, you talked about goal scoring being the main commodity for the team this year. Going into next year, what has to change to maybe balance the scales in terms of conceding less goals?
I think just a total mentality shift as a team. I think the league is progressing and all the teams are investing in good attackers, and it takes a lot to get a clean sheet nowadays. There's not many teams that can go out there and get a number of them. It's becoming harder and harder. So I think just as a unit, we just got to learn how to defend with all 11 guys and change that mentality and learn how to win games ugly. Most of our wins came when we're scoring a lot of goals. Pretty soccer, we didn't really have too many 2-1 wins or 1-0 wins where that's what the good teams do, even when it's not your day, when all the passes aren't hitting, when you're not finding the net, good teams still find a way to get the job done. So I think that's the next step for our group, is learning how to win ugly, I'd call it. And yeah, if we got 2-3 of those ugly wins during the year, we wouldn't be in this position, and we'd be looking to maybe even host the playoff game. So it's a bitter feeling, and yeah, only up. We can only improve on it.
Hey, Kamal.
Hey.
Ned mentioned some of the changes that are going to be made in the front end. One of those being mental health providers, kind of focusing on player well-being from the mental perspective. As you guys go through this off-season and kind of think about next year, can you kind of talk about some of that mental health challenges, what you are going to be working on yourselves collectively as a group, maybe taking this loss together and using that as momentum in the future?
Yeah, I think what you said is perfect. Like I said earlier, we're all so passionate and emotional, and it's a heavy jersey to wear, the Timbers jersey. We know what the fans expect. We know that the club strives for greatness. So when we come across results like that, and just losing in general, it's always very heavy. So the addition of a mental health coach could be good for a lot of guys to learn how to have more of a short-term memory and not let things carry over. That could have been one of the cases where we haven't scored in a while and kind of just lingering over into games and just kind of that feeling over our head, that cloud. So yeah, during the off season, I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to recharge. And now that we got that bitter feeling as a group with losing at home like that, I think it's a great fuel for everyone to come back stronger and more clear. And yeah, you gotta lose to win, as cliche as it is. So yeah, we'll take the loss on the chin, although it's very hard still. But overall, I think that everyone will come back stronger.
I'm just curious, what does the off season look for you, just in terms of, do you take some time off now? Do you have like a focus in terms of like what you want to improve on? Just, I'm not familiar with how the MLS off season works. I'm just curious, like when do you start kind of getting into what's next for you?
It's a pretty long off season for us, longer than expected. We would have liked a much shorter one, playing into December. You know, that was the plan. Didn't quite go our way this time, so we do have a lot of time. I think it's important for guys just to completely tune out and shut down their bodies for a few weeks. It's been a long year. A lot of travel, highs and lows. Not only physically but mentally. We were in a lot of close, nail-biting games, so I think it's just a great opportunity for everyone to refocus and reset. Myself personally, there's still opportunity for me to represent Canada. There's a camp coming up in November, so me personally, I have to keep going and stay fit and stay sharp. Hopefully I get that call, and yeah, after that, just personally for me, work on a bit more distribution and attacking the ball better in the air. I think those are two areas of my game that I really want to close, so I'll be focused on that during the offseason.
Kamal, you've been part of great backlines. In Montreal, you were an all-star. You won Leagues Cup with Miami last year.
Mm-hmm.
What did the great backlines you've played in the past, whether in MLS or at international level, have that maybe this year in Portland didn't have?
Tough question to put my finger on. I think individually we have so many talented players on this Timbers back line, and sometimes that's a blessing and a curse. I think we put out so many different back lines. It was kind of tough to gel together, but I think pound for pound, just all of our defenders, if you look at other rosters, we have a very, very strong core group of defenders, which is amazing. But I believe we have to kind of find our niche and what works and lock in with a certain group of guys, and that's how you end up getting those clean sheets. And late in the year, you know the guys left and right to you like the back of your hand. So I think that's very important, is finding what works for us and sticking to it and living and dying by it. But other than that, just the basics, communication and reps every day and working hard, and luck is a part of it too. I think we've had a lot of deflections and unlucky goals this year, so hopefully next year we're due for a much better season where the ball bounces our way a lot more and we can get that consistency and confidence as a backline.
We'll take one last question online. Sam Zviller.
Hey, Kamal.
Hey.
Phil Neville has been in a couple of press conferences, particularly late in this season, in talking about the team's poor performances and saying that he's felt that some players have maybe given up on the team. He cited after Wednesday certain players that maybe weren't showing the effort, maybe sprinting is hard. I'd love to hear your insight into kind of how the locker room is feeling, how you're feeling, as kind of this season kind of started to, kind of slip a little bit toward the end of the season, and if you feel that it's kind of reflected a lot of kind of what coaches shared. Thanks.
Yeah, it's tough because I think right around our final loss of the season and the dip of form towards the end of the season, I think that's when our locker room was the strongest. I think the past couple weeks or months we've had the most, I'd say, like, fun and bonding as a team, and during training the vibes are really high, and we go into games very confident as a team. And yeah, I guess that's just the way the story was written for us. I don't know really what to say on that. I don't feel like it was a lack of effort from anyone. Obviously, it's visual. There was frustration with the ball not going in the net and feeling like we were just so close but couldn't get the results. So that's obviously frustrating. But I think everyone who pulled on the jersey always gave their all and was loyal to the badge and respected the fans and how much effort you have to put when you play for a club like this. So yeah, that's the disappointing part of it, is it felt like we were finally fully bonding and meshing as a team. The vibes in the locker room were amazing. And yeah, that last result is the furthest outcome we predicted. We felt like we prepared well for the game and everything was going to fall into place, but it just wasn't meant to be that way. So hopefully next year we can learn from these mistakes and come back stronger.
Okay, we'll wrap it there. Thank you, Kamal.